Right, let's come to Tadasana. Standing foundation mountain pose. So rooted through the soles of the feet, neutral through the pelvis, long in the spine, long in the back of the neck. Fingertips gently drawing down toward the earth on either sides of your feet. If you like, palms face the thighs. If you prefer, palms face forward. Imagine pressing your feet even a little more firmly down toward the earth and see if you could get just slightly taller. And then lowering the gaze towards your floor, maybe floating the eyes closed. Beginning to cultivate that idea of gentle observation without judgment. Checking in with your physical self this morning, maybe with your mental, emotional self, maybe noticing the state of your nervous system. And then to the breath. Again, gentle observation without judgment. Just be for a moment with the breath as it is. Noticing the qualities of your breath as you are arriving to your mat, arriving to your practice. With your next inhale, imagine inviting the air in a little more deeply, breathing a little more fully. And then with your exhale, a slowing down, perhaps making that exhale slightly longer than the inhale. Staying here for a few really expansive inhales and slow exhales, or bringing in breath retention. Deep, full, expansive inhale all the way to the top. When you're completely full, little pause. Hold the breath filled. Slow, complete exhale when you're fully empty. If you like, brief pause. Gently letting go of breath retention if you're there. Keeping a nice full expansive inhale and a slow exhale. We'll blink or float the eyes fully open. Wait for your next in-breath. Sweep your hands wide and overhead. Upward hands pose, Urdhva Hastasana. Take just a little bit of a back bend, and then we'll exhale, dive over to forward fold. Bend the knees, hinge from the hips, sweeping the arms wide, reaching them down toward the space in front of the toes. Fully releasing into the spine, crown dangling down towards your floor. Take a full breath. Wait for an inhale, ragdoll up, back to standing. Find that firm foundation, rooting through the soles of the feet, growing long in the spine. Fingertips gently drawing down. Full exhale here. Next inhale again, sweeping high. Little back bend, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, dive, Uttanasana fold. This time we'll press into our half forward fold. Pressing into the feet, lengthen the back of the legs. Neutral spine, rest hands at shins or thighs. Pause. Take a couple full breaths. Imagine those sits bones opening up and back, crown growing long from your tail. Next, exhale, soften, release, Uttanasana. And then another ragdoll or a dive up here if you like. Inhaling, pressing into the feet, sweeping the hands wide and overhead, back through Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands, and then Tadasana. Inhale, lift the hands, open the heart. Exhale, dive. Inhale, press into the feet, half lift. Exhale, surrender. Inhale, lift, however you would like to get there. Back to Tadasana. Inhale, sweep, lift. Exhale, dive. Inhale, half lift. Surrender. Rise. Landing in your mountain. And then one more time at your own rhythm, and we'll meet back in Tadasana. And inhaling, sweeping the hands high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhaling, dive, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, surrender. This time we'll bring fingertips or palms down onto blocks or floor and step back the legs to find tabletop. One leg at a time, back onto the knees, and then adjust yourself, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Here, feeling your long neutral spine for a moment, and then with your breath flowing into cat tilts or cat cow. A deep inhale to prepare. Exhale, draws the navel to the spine, lowers the crown and the tail. Inhale, lowers the belly, opens the heart, opens the throat, lifts the crown. Exhale, flexion, cat stretch. Inhale, spinal extension. Take one more each direction. After that last time, lowering the belly and opening the heart, coming back to neutral spine in quadruped, tabletop, and then we'll flow into our side bends, lateral flexion. So again, a big inhale to prepare. Exhale, head, hip, foot, come out to the right. We glance back at our foot. Inhale takes everything through neutral. Exhale, lateral flexion, other side. Taking one more each direction. After that last time, to the left, finding center, neutral spine, and then we'll put those last movements together. So jump roping the spine. So we take that little side bend in one direction, and then as we come through center, we arch the back, drop the tail and the crown, find a side bend, opposite direction. As we come through center, lower the belly, open the heart, take a few circles this direction, feeling stretch to the back as you press and lift, stretch to the side in each direction, and a little stretch to the fronts of the shoulders and abs as you lower the belly and open the heart. Take a little pause at the top, switch directions. And finishing the circle that you're on, find your neutral. And then we'll come into our last direction for spinal warm up here, which is our rotation, spinal twist. So I will let you decide if you want to flow right from quadruped. We'll keep the right leg as it is, or if you want to bring that right leg out to the right and then point your toes toward the top of your mat. Either way, we're going to open the heart to the right, float the right hand, gazing past the fingers, and then drawing down, either sliding that hand back to its starting position or reaching it under left arm, twisting open, twisting down. Taking one more reach up. And then settling that hand back to its starting position. If you've got your right leg out to the side, go ahead and bring it back underneath you. Take a moment, readjust in your quadruped. Adjust your left leg if you would like to bring it out to the side. And then twisting flow, spinal rotation. Taking one more twist open. Settle that hand back under the shoulder. Bring your leg in as needed. Bring both knees a little wide on the mat. Point the toes in toward one another. Reach the hips back toward the heels. And either soften all the way down into that wide knee child's pose, or with the hips a little more lifted, slide your hands, forearms closer to the top of your mat. Soften through the spine. Soften through the shoulders, soften through the neck. Activating the palms, press, lift, back up, find table. Bring the knees back in line with the hips. Firm up the connection between both hands, left shin and top of the foot. Slide the right leg back behind you. Imagine lifting that leg parallel to the floor, trying to keep the hips square. Gently draw toes in, press heel away. Stay here for a moment, or really feeling your connection at your right hand, slide your left arm long, rotate the pinky to the face of the earth. Make sure you're really active in that right shoulder, reaching left fingertips all the way through right heel. Float that side back down. Find your connection. Left leg reaches back, lift the leg, see if you can level the glutes, pull the toe, reach the heel, stay here for a breath, or finding that foundation in left hand, arm, shoulder, right arm joins. And float that hand and knee back down. We'll come back to the first side and find a little flow, a little rhythm. So this could be just a flow with the knee, just a flow with the arm, or arm and leg together. Whenever we're choosing, we're gonna reach arm or leg or both long. Take a big inhale, exhale, pull the navel to spine, round, let elbow or knee or both come under belly. Inhale long, exhale coming in. Take one more inhale, grow long. Exhale to find tabletop. Left leg, right arm or both. Lift, find that length. Exhale, navel to spine, elbow or knee or both under belly. One more inhale to grow long. exhale to find your foundation. We'll come back to the first side, but adding a lateral movement. So arm and leg reaching out to the side. So again, this could be just arm, just leg, or we could play around with both. Reaching long, really grounded through that right hand, and then floating out in the direction of perpendicular to the torso, back in line with the center of the mat. Next time, hand and leg come back to center, float them down, find table, and opposite side. Could be just arm, just leg, or both. Reaching out to the side, flowing back towards center. Reaching back to center, bringing them back down to the mat. Ground down through that right hand, pick up your left hand, give it a nice little shake. Make a tight fist, take a couple wrist circles one direction, other direction. And then release, put the back of the hand down on the mat under the shoulder, fingertips pointing toward knee, and gently press down. And bring that palm back under the shoulder, lift the right, give it a shake. Make a fist, circle the wrist one way, other way. Release, back of the hand into the mat, knees pointing toward knee, gently press down. And release, slide both hands out just a little forward of the shoulder. Tuck the toes, float the tailbone. Find your downward facing dog. And as you find that down dog, take a moment to pause, to breathe, to move in any way that feels good. So maybe there's a little movement in the hips or spine or neck, heels or arms. And then finding stillness, sending the right leg behind you for three-leg dog or tail of the dog. Rather than thinking about that hip alignment now, we're just gonna let that leg grow long in whatever way feels good. Option to come into a flow from here or to come back to tabletop and move through a version of spinal balance instead. So if we're in tail of the dog, we're gonna inhale, imagine reaching that right leg even a little bit longer. And then we're gonna exhale, come forward through a three-leg plank and draw that knee towards same side tricep. Inhale, three-leg dog, send it long. Exhale, coming forward, knee heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee opposite tricep. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee opposite tricep again. And then if you like, playing around with turning the heart open a little to the left, straighten that right knee, send the foot out to the left, glance at it, bring it back underneath, and send it long. Finding your way back to either down dog or tabletop. Again, pause, breathe deeply, move the body in any way that feels good. And from stillness, spinal balance, or from down dog, left leg rises, reach it long. Waiting for an exhale, start your flow this side. Bringing the knee to the opposite tricep twice. And if you like, that second time, turn, look to the right, straighten the knee, send that foot out. Bring it back underneath, send it long, and downward facing dog. If you're in tabletop, go ahead and pop up, down dog. Grounded through all 10 fingers, both palms, crown gently drawing toward the space between the thumbs. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, float the knees forward and down.
shoulders come over the wrist. Gaze is now between the thumbs. Knees almost touch the earth. Lift those knees. Reach the heels, lift the tailbone, down dog. Floating forward and down. Knees almost touch. And lift, down dog. And lower. Lift and lower. Next time those knees come down, we'll let them come all the way down onto the mat. Untuck the toes. Slide the hands out far enough in front of the shoulders that you can come down through half plank. Lower those hips forward and down. Shoulders aligned over the wrist. Eye of the elbow pointing forward. Lowering the heart down toward the space between the fingers. Belly stays drawing towards spine as we approach the floor. Belly relaxes, heart draws forward. Pull your elbows toward the back of your mat. Use the low back to lift. Find Cobra, Bhujangasana. And surrender. Heart, gaze. Come right in front of your mat. Inhale, lift Cobra. Exhale, surrender. Lift and lower a few more times. Next time you come down, we'll pause. Press those hands under the shoulders. Keep the knees connected. Press back up toward a half plank. Lift the hips a little through tabletop. Slide the hips toward the heels. Hands slide back toward the knees. Child's pose. Activate the palms, press into the hands, lift tabletop as needed. They might be there already, or maybe you slide your hands a little further forward to find downward facing dog. Take a moment, a few deep breaths, and your down dog. And then finding stillness, deeply bending the knees, belly draws toward thighs, gaze comes toward the top of the mat. Slow walk, deeply bent legs toward the top of the mat. Find forward fold. Press into the feet, long spine half lift. And surrender. Forward fold, and then slow roll or circle sweep your way up. Find your way back to mountain pose. And inhaling, sweeping the hands high. Upward hands, exhale, diving over, forward fold. Press into the feet, inhale, half lift. And surrender, forward fold. We'll ground through the left foot and send the right leg back for low lunge. So down on fingertips or palms, or coming down with the help of a block, we'll slide that right leg all the way back. Lower the knee, untuck the toe. Sweep the fingertips up, pointing toward the ceiling, directly over the shoulders. Sink your hips a little closer to the earth. Pull your tailbone a little closer to the earth. See if you can get the crown of your head right over the center of the pelvis. Anjaneyasana. And then imagine you're going to take those elbows wide and down. Find your cactus arms or goalpost arms as you open through the heart. Lift back to neutral. Reach through the fingertips. Open through the heart. Elbows draw back and down. Lift and lower. Stretching the spine. And lifting through the fingertips, neutral spine. Bring hands down to frame that front foot. Tuck the right toe, lift the knee, slide your left leg right back to downward facing dog if you like, or pull it all the way through to a three-leg dog. Then bring it down, pause, take a few full breaths, any movement that feels good. And from stillness, right leg will come forward for low lunge. If you like, scoot it forward. If you like, inhale it long behind you. Step it forward, find ankle under knee, lower left knee, Untuck toe, bring those hands high. And stretching front line of the body, elbows draw wide and back. Lifting back to neutral, fingertips reach. Finding Anjaneyasana. Hands come down to frame the front foot, or maybe they come to a block. We'll tuck the back toe, lift the knee. This time slide the left foot forward to meet the right. Forward fold. Press into your feet, half lift. Surrender. And slow roll or circle sweep your way up. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, upward hands. Exhale, Uttanasana, dive. Inhale, Ardha, half lift. Surrender, fingertips or palms to blocks or floor. Ground through the right leg, send your left leg all the way back. Lower the knee, untuck the toe, sweep the hands high. Keeping the lower body grounded as it is. Twist the heart open to the right. Float the hands down toward the earth. Twisting back through center. Lift the hands. Twisting opposite side. Float the hands down. Lifting and lowering the arms as you find spinal rotation, alternating sides. Opening once more to the left and finding Anjaneyasana, fingertips reaching, neutral spine. Bring the hands down to frame that front foot, tug the back toe, lift the knee, and again, you can slide right back to down dog if that's more interesting, or you can bring that leg all the way through, find a little stretch in a three-leg dog, and then bringing it down. Take a few full breaths. And beginning to slide or scoot that left foot forward or bring it long behind you. Then step it forward, find your low lunge, second side. And spinal rotation, lifting and lowering the arms as you move. Opening to the left, hands float down. Center, hands lift. Opening to the right, hands float down. Opening once more to the right. Coming back, Anjaneyasana. Bring the hands down toward the top of our mat. Find your floor, find your block. Tuck the right toe, lift the knees, slide, scoot or lift and float that foot all the way forward. Forward fold, press into the feet, half lift, surrender, slow roll or circle sweep. And Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Sweep the hands high. Exhale, dive, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, Ardha, Uttanasana. Exhale, surrender. Find fingertips or palms to blocks or floor. We're going to bring the legs all the way back to Palakasana, high plank pose. So legs will come all the way back the mat. And then we'll lower, knees, chest, chin. Find cobra, just one cobra this time. Eye of the elbow pointing forward, lowering the heart toward the space between the fingers, sliding yourself forward, elbows pull toward the back of your space. Use the low back, lengthen the crown away from the rest of the body. Lowering down, keeping those knees connected. Press into the hands, half plank. Tuck the toes if they're not still there. Float the knees, plank, lift the tail, downward facing dog. Pedal those feet, Shimmy the hips, move the hands, move the wrists. Finding stillness. Deeply bend the knees. Gaze comes forward. Slow walk, or maybe a silent little hop forward toward the top of the mat. Press into the feet, half lift. Surrender. Slow roll or circle sweep. Inhale, lift the hands, open the heart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Surrender, plant the hands, bring those legs all the way back. Palakasana, high plank pose. If you'd like, knees, chest, chin through cobra. If you're feeling adventurous and it's in your practice, plank, low plank through up dog. Coming forward a little bit, keeping those elbows drawing in toward low ribs, lowering heart toward the space between the fingers. Shoulders come no lower than elbows. Keeping the thighs floated, pressing into the hands, rolling over the toes, opening the heart. And from wherever you're at, eventually finding your way back to downward facing dog. Pause, breathe, wiggle. Finding stillness. Deeply bending the knees, gaze comes forward. Slow walk or a little silent hop, float forward with the feet. Press into the feet, half lift. Surrender. Find your mountain. And we'll move one more time at your own rhythm. So no rush to get there. Your half plank, knees, chest, chin, cobra, plank, low plank, up dog, eventually finding your way all the way back to mountain. So as you're ready, using your next inhale to start, moving at your own pace, adding in any other movements that feel good, taking out anything that is not interesting. Okay, from nice, tall mountain, again, sweep the hands high, take a little stretch to the front body. This time, we'll bring the palms together, find our chair, come back to neutral spine, pull those palms down to heart center, send those hips back and down, take a little more weight to the heels, press into the feet to lift from the bottom, part the hands in front of the hips, sweep them wide, press long, again, take upward hands pose, as little or as much of a back bend as feels good at the top. And then flowing through chair or fierce Utkatasana. Inhaling, lift, Ardha Hastasana. Exhaling, Utkatasana. Taking one more big inhale, sweep those hands high, reach, maybe stretch the front body, and then we'll exhale, land in that chair pose and pause. Check in here to make sure that the low back feels okay, decreasing the angle in the knees a little bit as you like. And then we'll come into a little twisting flow. So we're gonna try to keep that spine neutral, keep that little bit of a curve to the low back, tailbone gently drawing down toward the earth. Take a big inhale, exhale, twist, look to the left, draw that right elbow toward the left knee, but keeping the hips even and the knees parallel. Unwinding through center, gaze comes forward, twist, look to the right, left elbow draw toward right knee. Take a few more each direction.
Finding one more opening to the right, making your way back through center, and then release over to a full forward fold. Soft knees, soft spine, dangling those arms or fingertips to opposite elbows. Take a little sway side to side. And either keeping that little sway, if it feels good, slow roll your way up, or find stillness, circle sweep up through upward hands. Then find your mountain. From your long spine, inhale, sweep the hands high. We'll exhale back and down into chair. Your choice, fingertips extended, biceps frame the ears, or palms together at heart center. We'll flow from here into a high lunge or crescent pose chandrasana. So bringing weight over to the left, find your balance. Lift that right heel and then slide or scoot or maybe lift and float that leg all the way back the mat. Touch down toes and ball of the foot. All toes pointed directly toward the front of the mat. Left knee over the ankle. And again here, could you pull that tailbone a little closer to the earth, finding the neutral pelvis, neutral in the low back, low ribs gently knitting in. And then we'll take a little lift and lower flow here, pressing right heel toward the earth, pressing into left foot, straighten the knee, float the hands down alongside the hips, lifting back, crescent, high lunge. This time as you press and come and bring the hands down, if you like, maybe also take a little bow forward, drawing the heart toward your left knee, lifting the hands, then flowing back. So lift, lower, moving the arms, or a little bow forward. I have officially stacked too many mats on top of one another. It is too squishy. All right, flowing once more, finding your way back to high lunge, chandrasana, and then we'll open up to our warrior two. So floating those arms down, opening hips to the right, rotate those toes out. Finding your foundation, Virabhadrasana 2, and then reaching forward, extended side angle, taking those left fingers forward a little bit, and then bringing the elbow down onto the knee, or forearm pressing inside lower leg, sending that right arm all the way overhead, maybe gazing past those fingers, or gazing just in front of the left foot. Take a full exhale here. Use an inhale. Lift to warrior two, keeping that deep bend in the front knee. And floating back hand to the thigh, front hand to palm face up. Take another little reach forward and then slide into your exalted warrior, watching that left arm scoop overhead, right hand slides down toward the foot. Lifting, warrior two. Reaching forward, extended side angle, this time without a pause. Lifting, warrior two. Exalted warrior. Lifting, warrior two. One more time through each. And find your warrior two. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Lift the right heel. Exhale, pull your left leg back to meet your right. If you like, pause here in high plank pose. If you like, add a little flow, knees, chest, chin, cobra. Plank, low plank, up dog. Eventually finding downward facing dog. If you're holding a plank, go ahead, find your down dog. Take a few full breaths, a little movement. Finding stillness, deeply bending the knees, belly toward thighs. Gaze comes forward, slow walk or a silent little hop forward. Press into the feet, half lift. Surrender. Ragdoll or circle sweep. Find your mountain. Inhale, sweep those hands overhead. Little stretch to the front body if it feels good. Exhale, flowing through chair, letting those palms come together and pull down through heart center. Inhaling from the bottom, Urdhva Astasana. Exhaling, flowing through Utkatasana. Take one more inhale, lift. Exhale, find your Utkatasana, hands to heart, and pause. Bring all your weight over to your left leg, find your balance. Lift that right heel, slide your right foot just off the right side of your mat. Slide it back in, plant it. Bring weight to the right, lift your left heel, slide it off the edge of your mat. Slide it back in, plant it. We'll do a few more of this movement side to side, or weight comes to the left, the whole right foot lifts, reach it out to the side, toe tap down, lift, bring it back in and plant. So a slide or a lift and tap. Finding one more over to that left side. Back through your chair, surrender over, forward fold. Dangle those arms down toward the floor or fingertips to opposite elbows with your other forearm in front. Take some movement. Hanging on to that movement as feels good as you ragdoll up, or find stillness. Sweep up through your upward hands. Find your mountain. Inhale, lift the hands, send those hips back and down to find your chair. Biceps stay at ears if you like, fingertips reaching, or hands come to heart while we transition to our Chandrasana high lunge, second side. Find that foundation on the right, lift the left, slide, scoot, lift, and float all the way back. Finding your balance. And coming into flow. Pressing into that front foot, straighten the knee, back heel reaches for the earth. Hands float down, and maybe we lift and lower in this movement. Or if it's interesting, as you press into that front foot, straighten the knee and bring the hands down. Maybe you bow forward, drawing the heart toward the right knee. Flowing once more from high lunge, opening up, finding warrior two, rotating those left toes out toward the side of your mat, sinking into that nice big bend in the front knee, fingertips gently reaching toward front and back of your space, and reaching forward, extended side angle. This first time we'll pause for a breath, resting elbow to knee, pressing forearm inside lower leg, and we bring that top arm all the way overhead. Bicep frames the ear. Inhale, lift, warrior two. Lower the back hand to the thigh, front hand palm face up, take a little reach forward, scoop that arm overhead, slide back hand down the thigh. Inhale, lift, warrior two, flowing two more times through each at your own rhythm. And from warrior two, big inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the front foot. Lift that left heel. Slide that right leg back. Find high plank, Palakasana, and pause, or low plank, or dolphin plank and pause. Find a little flow. Knees, chest, chin, cobra. Plank, low plank, up dog, or come right to downward facing dog. Whatever movement you're in or shape you're taking, if you're not there already, make your way through down dog. Take a couple really deep inhales, complete exhales. And finding stillness. Big bend to the knees, belly toward thighs. Gaze comes forward. Slow walk or silent hop, feet forward. Forward fold, press into the feet, half lift. Surrender. Inhale your way up. Exhale, Tadasana. And we'll bring weight over to the left leg. We'll come into a balance, so if you want to be near a wall or chair, go ahead and find your way there. Left sole of the foot grounds down. Lift right heel, finding a tree pose. So letting that right knee come all the way out to the right as far as it will go without starting to take the whole pelvis with it. Take those toes, tuck them to the earth just inside the left ankle, or bring the sole of the foot to the calf, or bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. And then press more firmly down into that standing leg. Grow long but not locked in the back of the left, long through the spine. So if we've already found a good challenge, we'll stay here. If you want to add a little flow to your Vrikshasana, tree pose, we'll make some arm circles. So we'll try to stay rooted through that left foot, grounded in our foundation in the lower body. Inhale, bring the hands high, let the palms meet. Exhale, draw the hands down through heart center. Inhale, open, lift. Exhale, drawing down. Inhale, open, lift. This time let those hands pause briefly overhead. And then we'll open up in the opposite direction, parting those hands wide out to the sides, letting fingertips come together in front of the pelvis, lifting up through center. Wide to the sides. And letting the hands rest down however is comfortable or supportive, so we can unwind that right leg. Bring that foot all the way down onto your mat. Ground through that foot, pick up your left leg and give it a nice little shake. And second side, feel into that sole of the right foot. Imagine spreading it out, rooting, grounding downward. Left heel lifts. We start to externally rotate. My computer's trying to restart. That hip, far as it will go, without taking the pelvis with it. Choose your leg variation on this side. Toes to the earth, toes to your block, sole of the foot to the calf, sole of the foot to the inner thigh. And again, check in with that foundation on the right. Can you grow long through the back of the leg? Neutral, long in pelvis, spine. And then we're gonna try to stay just as we are in the lower body. Take a big inhale, sweep the arms wide and overhead. Exhale, let the palms meet, draw hands down through heart center. Bring those hands overhead, let the palms meet, take a little pause, and shoulder circles opposite direction, parting wide to the sides. Fingertips meet in front of the pelvis, lift through center. Let those hands rest at your sides or heart center or come to the hips. Unwind that left leg, plant it down, lift the right, give it a nice little shake. Planting both feet, reaching fingertips down toward the earth, long through the back of the neck, long through the crown, Tadasana. Take a moment to soften the gaze or close the eyes. Just notice, does this Tadasana feel any different than when we started? Floating or fluttering, eyes fully open. Bring the hands to the fronts of the thighs. Deeply bend the knees, leading from the crown of the head. Slow melt all the way over. Forward fold. Deeply bending the knees, taking your left palm or fingertips to the floor or your block just in front of the gaze. Twisting open to the right. Deeply bend that left knee. Float the right hand high. Sweep it back down, forward fold. Switch the places of the hands. Inhale, twist left. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to twist open. Exhale to twist close. Flowing once or twice more, finding balance. And then from forward fold, we'll step back the legs, your choice if you'd like to add in one more flow here, coming back to high plank, finding knees, chest, chin to cobra, or plank, low plank to up dog. Eventually finding your way to a child's pose, a puppy pose, or a wide knee child's pose. And then again here, just a soft noticing. Does this child's pose feel any different than that very first one that we took near the beginning of our practice? And beginning to slow lift your way up through kneeling. Taking the hips over to one side, sending feet out long in front of you. Moving to a seat. Bring the tailbone right about to the center of the mat. Support yourself to slow lower down onto your back and find Ardha Shavasana, half corpse pose. Bringing the palms to the earth on either side of the pelvis. Lift into a bridge here and take a little flow with our arms. So really rooting down through the soles of the feet. Take a big inhale. First part of the exhale, imagine lengthening your tailbone toward your heels. Slow, peel that spine up off the mat, continuing that sense of growing your tailbone long away from the rest of your spine. And when you find the top of that bridge, again, make sure you're nice and rooted through the soles of the feet, knees gently tracking away from you. And then we'll start to float the hands, float the arms. Lift those hands all the way up, fingertips pointed toward the ceiling over your shoulders. And then reach them back just a little bit till biceps come toward the ears. Reach them back, fingertips to the ceiling. Float them back just to meet the spine. And lift. Drawing back, lift, lower just to the torso. Take the arms in a few more arcs here. And then the next time the arms come down alongside the body, we'll let them come all the way back down to the mat. Activate that back line of the arm, palms and finger pads. Slow lower spine. all the way back down. Bring your hands out a little wider or rest your hands to your belly so you can heel toe your feet out wide to the sides of your mat and windshield wiper the legs. The next time the legs fall over to the left, we'll let them stay. Fully relax through the legs for a moment. Just let them draw down toward the earth and then slide the hands up overhead. Interlace the fingers overhead, flip the palms to point away from your crown. Start to take those hands in the opposite direction of where your knees are pointing, shimmying head, neck, shoulders toward the corner of your mat. And then reach away with those palms, reach away with your knees, stretching everything away from the navel, diagonal stretch on your mat. And then let everything relax, fall down toward your mat, soften the legs, hips, spine, shoulders. And starting to slow shimmy, head, neck, shoulders, back towards center. Gently drawing your navel toward your spine, pulling that low back down toward your mat. Lift the knees. Windshield wiper the legs side to side. And the next time the legs fall to the right, let them stay. Let the legs relax for a moment. If they're not still there, interlacing the fingers overhead. Shimmying head, neck, shoulders to the corner of the mat. And those palms reach away and then knees reach away. Stretching diagonal on your mat. And relax. Shimmying head, neck, shoulders back towards center. Activating that low belly, pelvic floor to protect the spine as you lift the knees, windshield wiper the legs a few times side to side. And then if there's anything else that you would like to add here, a stretch to end with, or a posture that you would like to add, go ahead and honor whatever that may be, whatever feels right. Bring your practice to a close. And then starting to make your way toward maybe a Shavasana, if you like, corpse pose, half Shavasana, reclined bound angle, fetal position. Choosing a shape that will allow everything to be soft, allow the body to fully relax, the breath to be easy, mind to rest. If the mind feels chattery or distracted, bringing your mind's eye to this sense of your physical tissues connected to your mat or your prop. And as distractions come up, bringing your thoughts back to that, or letting your mind's eye sit fully with the sense of your breath entering and leaving your body. And if distractions come up, coming back to that as your anchor. Beginning to create some gentle movement in the body. Maybe fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Or turning the head side to side. Maybe adding a full body stretch here if you like. And then making your way through knees to chest pose, drawing those bent knees into the belly, giving yourself a little squeeze. And then either letting those knees take you over to one side, finding fetal position, or rolling the length of the spine, shoulder blades to tailbone. And eventually slow press or rock up, finding Sukhasana, easy pose, or another seated shape. And one last time here, feeling into your foundation, sits bones, outer parts of the legs or feet, rooting, grounding downward, gentle length from the crown, soft shoulders, and coming back to that sense of gentle observation without judgment. What comes up for you at the end of your practice? And if you like, maybe setting the intention to take a little yoga off of your mat today, taking some kindness, goodness, compassion out into the rest of your day, sharing with anyone that you may meet in person, maybe on a screen. Oh, blinking eyes fully open, bringing the hands to rest at heart center. Thank you. Taking time out of your day to share your practice with me.